So, have you ever felt that relentless kind of tug of war in your mind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like one minute you're stuck replaying some awkward thing you said yesterday, and the next you're, spiraling into anxiety about a presentation that's maybe weeks away.
Totally. It's like your mind is anywhere but here.
Exactly. It's that feeling, isn't it? That real peace or joy or even just quiet feels like it's always just out of reach. Somewhere else.
Somewhere in the future, maybe, or if only the past were different.
Right. Well, today's deep dive, we're actually dedicated to figuring out how to find that peace, that fulfillment.
Okay.
And not by, trying to change everything around you, but by shifting your focus radically.
To what?
To something really simple, but also, well, pretty challenging. The now.
The present moment.
Exactly. We're diving into the core ideas from Eckhart Tolle's big work, The Power of Now, A Guide to Presence.
A very influential book.
Hugely. So our mission today is really to unpack the most important bits from it, to help you, listening right now, understand how living in the present might actually transform your whole experience of life.
And it's pretty fascinating how the book really argues that most of our suffering, well, it comes from not being present, from being lost, essentially. Lost in the past with regrets, or lost in the future with anxiety. Anywhere but right here. Those aren't just, passing feelings, but the main drivers of our deepest unhappiness.
Okay, let's unpack this, because that idea that our own minds could be the source of our problems, that feels almost like a betrayal, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. We identify so strongly with our thoughts.
It feels like us. How does Tolle even suggest we start untangling that?
It's really foundational to his whole teaching. He explains that, look, the mind is an incredible tool, right? We need it.
For sure. Planning, solving problems.
Exactly. But it becomes a problem when it completely takes over your inner life. When it's just this nonstop stream of thinking. Yeah, the chatter. Especially when it's constantly dragging you into the past or shoving you into the future. That's what creates what he calls the false self, the ego.
The ego, okay.
And he's careful to say this isn't about arrogance or being full of yourself. It's about our deep identification with our thoughts, our history, our roles,
Like defining ourselves by our job title or past mistakes.
Precisely. It creates this constant, often quite negative, internal story that keeps us from actually being here. The breakthrough, he says, is realizing you're not the thoughts.
You're not the thoughts. Then what are you?
You're the awareness behind them. He uses the analogy of the sky and the clouds. Your thoughts, emotions, they're like clouds passing through.
Okay.
But you are the sky, the vast, unchanging awareness that witnesses the clouds. And by just observing your thoughts without judging them, you start to loosen that identification. You start to see you're bigger than the chatter.
That's a powerful image, the sky and the clouds. Okay, and if so much of that chatter, the ego's playground, as you called it, happens in the past and future, that leads us straight to another really interesting distinction the book makes about time. It differentiates clock time from psychological time.
Yes, that's crucial. Clock time is the practical stuff. You need it for appointments, deadlines, planning your day. It's functional.
Makes sense. Can't really operate without it.
Nope. But psychological time, that's different. That's when our minds get stuck. Dwelling endlessly on the past, replaying hurts, regrets, what ifs.
Or constantly projecting into the future, worrying, anticipating, planning scenarios that might never happen.
Exactly that. And that, Tolle argues, is the actual source of our emotional pain. It's not usually the present moment itself, but our mental resistance to it or our escape from it into this psychological time.
So liberation comes from
stepping out of that psychological time, from fully entering the now. Because really, the present moment is the only time we ever truly have. It's the only place life actually is.
Wow. Okay. So the mind creates suffering by dwelling outside the now. But the book also talks about another layer of pain, something maybe deeper, more hidden. It calls it the pain body.
Ah, yes, the pain body.
What exactly is that, and why is understanding it so important for finding peace?
So, the pain body is described as, well, like an accumulation of old emotional pain. It's not just a memory in your head.
It's felt.
Yes, it's almost like an energy field within you.
Yeah.
Made up of past suffering, maybe stuff from childhood, old heartbreaks, deep-seated anger, even collective human pain we inherit, in a way.
Okay, like emotional residue.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And it lies dormant much of the time, but then something triggers it.
Like a comment or a situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And suddenly, this old pain flares up. demanding to be felt. It can make us react really intensely, often way out of proportion to the actual trigger. It feeds on negativity.
That sounds intense and difficult to deal with.
It can be. But the key insight Tolle offers is critical. Its power dissolves not when you fight it or analyze it endlessly or try to suppress it.
But when
you simply become aware of it, when you can notice it rising within you, that heavy feeling, that surge of anger or sadness, and observe it without getting swept away, without identifying with it as me.
Just watch it.
Just watch it. Acknowledge its presence. That awareness itself starts to break the cycle, weakening its grip over time.
Okay, so observing the mind, observing the pain body. It seems like a lot hinges on how we react to what's happening internally and externally.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to acceptance and surrender. Now, when I hear those words, especially surrender, my first thought is, isn't that just giving up? Like being passive or resigned to things you don't like?
That's a really common reaction, and Tolle addresses it directly. He clarifies that suffering primarily comes from our internal resistance to what is, from mentally fighting the reality of the present moment.
So acceptance isn't necessarily liking what's happening.
Not at all. Acceptance in this context simply means acknowledging the reality of this moment. Okay, this is what is happening right now. Even if it's unpleasant, even if you fully intend to take action to change it later, you first stop the internal war against it.
You drop the mental fight.
Precisely. And surrender takes that a step further. It's definitely not about inaction or giving up on changing external circumstances. It's an inner yielding, an inner yes to the present moment, whatever form it takes.
An inner yes.
Yeah. And paradoxically, this inner acceptance, this surrender, actually frees up enormous energy. It frees you from the negativity and struggle of resistance.
So it actually empowers you.
Absolutely. It allows you to respond to the situation more clearly, more effectively, if action is needed, because you're not bogged down by internal conflict.
That's a really different way of looking at it. Not passive resignation, but empowered presence. Okay.
Exactly.
So if the present moment is the key, the doorway, how do we actually get there? How do we step through? What does presence really feel like, practically speaking?
Presence is essentially being fully alert and engaged with this moment, right here, right now, without that constant mental commentary, judging, analyzing, worrying.
Cutting through the noise.
Cutting through the noise. And the book offers very practical, simple ways to cultivate this. One is paying attention to your breath.
Just breathing.
Just feeling the sensation of the breath coming in and going out. It anchors you instantly in your body, in the now. Another way is tuning into your body's inner energy field, or just simple sensations.
Like the feeling of your feet on the floor.
Exactly. Or the warmth of the sun on your skin. Or even just noticing the sounds around you, the birds, the traffic, whatever, but without labeling them or judging them, just hearing.
Just using your senses.
Using your senses fully, or observing your surroundings. What do you see right now? Really see it, without the mind immediately saying, that's a lamp, I need to dust it. Just a raw perception.
Stripping away the mental labels.
Yes. These practices help quiet the mind, dissolve that egoic identification we talked about, and connect you to a deeper sense of stillness, of being, that's always there beneath the surface noise.
These are really profound ideas. But for someone listening, maybe feeling overwhelmed by all this, how can you start applying these things? Like today, right now, what are some immediate first steps?
That's the beauty of it. It's always accessible. The book really boils it down to a few key practices. First, just observe your mind.
Become the watcher.
Become the watcher. Notice when it drifts off into the past or jumps into the future. Don't criticize yourself. Just notice. There goes the mind again.
Yeah.
That awareness is presence emerging.
Okay, what else?
Second, use your senses. Deliberately. Take a moment during your day to really tune in. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you feel against your skin? Anchor yourself in the physical reality of now.
Grounding yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Third, conscious breathing. This is so simple, but so powerful. Feeling stressed. Take 3 conscious breaths. Focus entirely on the feeling of the air moving in and out. It breaks the momentum of anxious thought.
Just takes a few seconds.
Just a few seconds. And finally, learning to face discomfort directly. When difficult emotions or physical pain arise, instead of immediately resisting or trying to escape into thought.
Which is usually our first instinct.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead, try to just observe the sensation. Feel it fully in your body. Allow it to be there without adding a mental story of, this is terrible, I can't stand it. Just pure, non-judgmental awareness. You might be surprised how it shifts.
Observing it changes its nature somehow.
Often, yes. The resistance is what fuels it. Awareness allows it to dissolve or transform.
So if we had to sum up the core message from The Power of Now, what's the main takeaway?
I think this central message is really quite liberating. True freedom, genuine inner peace, deep joy. They aren't found in rearranging your life circumstances or achieving future goals. They're available only in this present moment.
Always here.
Always here. And by becoming more aware, less identified with the endless stream of thinking, less trapped by that egoic self, you can break free. You can connect to that deeper reality, that stillness, that sense of being that resides only in the now.
It's a fundamental shift in perspective.
It really is. It changes everything without changing anything, in a way.
So here's something to maybe leave you thinking about. What if the most profound journey you could ever possibly take isn't actually to some faraway place or achieving some distant future goal, but simply going deeper right now into this very moment?